session will take us through Testo's digital food safety system. Stay tuned for some insider information from Mr. Balaji Giri, KAM, Food Solution Business at Testo.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Balaji Giri from Testo India Private Limited. I'm the key account manager for food solution business in Testo India. So I will take you through a short presentation on Testo's digital food safety system. So we are all aware that how complicated it is to manage the restaurant operation. Yeah, it is because we process the different types of the products in a single restaurant, for which we use the different types of raw material. Okay, it could be a processed product, it could be a semi-processed product, or it could be a raw, fresh produce. So, such kind of a different types of products requires the different ways of handling. It requires a different set temperatures for storage, transportation, processing, and even for the serving. So, in order to ensure the compliance on quality and food safety at restaurant, it involves to follow a number of routines apart from the daily or the daily hygiene checks. Okay, the number of routines like monitoring the different process parameters, like monitoring the temperature of the product in the different phases, like during chilling, during freezing, during processing, or even at the time of serving. It also involves the monitoring of the temperature for the different equipments like the fryers, then chillers, freezers, or even for the oven, or if you are having different set of toasters or the grillers, right? And even the TPM, total polar material measurements for the different types of frying oil. Yeah. So, and in general, the structure of QSR chain is like the multiple outlets scattered all across the geographic location. And the QA person or the training person from the head office or the region office used to monitor the compliance of all the restaurants with the frequent visits or the periodic audits. But are we really confident about the fulfillment of the compliance at all locations at a given point of time? Are we able to identify the sources of errors before something critical happens at the restaurant level? It is because the current paper-based food safety management system has some of its own disadvantages or the drawbacks, like manipulation. Manipulation is one of the biggest challenge in front of paper-based food safety system, because we know in many cases the checklists are being fulfilled just for the sake of completing the audit or preparing the restaurant for the certain regulatory visits, right? So there is no transparency, there is no surety about the authenticated data available in the checklist. Yeah. Paper-based checklist is quite difficult to keep up to date at all locations at a given point of time. There are also high probability of the errors in the paper-based checklist. And lastly, it is quite impossible to cope up with the amount of data. If the management want to evaluate the data or access the data from all the location, the first and foremost challenge in front of them is to collect the data from all the location. And then after going through all the checklist, identifying the trends for the different process parameters, different food safety parameters is again a quite time-consuming activity, time-taking activity. And because of this, in many cases, the data is not evaluated stringently or thoroughly. Yeah? So all these make this paper-based food safety management system quite complicated to manage. So what is the solution? The solution is to go digital. Going digital will be helpful for you to get into the mode of action instead of reaction. You will have a consolidated view of all the data from all the locations on a real-time basis. You will be able to identify the areas for the improvement and plan your corrective actions in terms of training to the individuals, preventive maintenance of the different equipments, or in certain cases, the revision of your internal standards also, right? Be compliant. The checklist on a digital platform is configured in such a way that it will guide, it will help the employees to follow the standard operating procedures every time. We are not only incorporating the checks or the specifications only, the default corrective actions for the different non-compliance will also helpful for the team members from the restaurant to follow the standard operating procedures and always act right in all situations. Be informed. As you are having a real-time data access from all the locations. And there will be the provision, there is a provision actually to get the notification in the form of SMS or mail to the different stakeholders so that they can act immediately during certain non-compliances to avoid the further issues, further critical issues at the restaurant. Yeah. So this is regarding the benefits of going digital for the food safety management system. I would give you the short overview regarding the Testo's digital food safety management system, which is called as a Testo Savory's Restaurant Solution or Testo Savory's Food Solution. So this is the latest system from the Testo, specifically designed for the restaurant or retail operation. Basically, it is the combination of software, sensor, and services. We have a set of some smart sensors in the form of like multifunction handle, which is a Bluetooth-enabled device, a single device, which can be used to carry out the different types of measurement at the restaurant. So single device we can use along with the different sensors. So here you can see the different sensors like thermocouple sensor can be used to validate your equipments. We can use this multifunction handle along with the air temperature sensor to get the air temperature of the chilling freezing equipments. We can use this multifunction handle along with the penetration sensor to get the core temperature of the products. Similar way, surface temperature sensor can be used to get the surface temperature of the equipments like the griller or the hot plate. And finally, this oil tasting sensor used with the multifunction handle to have a measurement of the total polar material of the frying oil. We are all aware that FSSAI has introduced the regulation in 2018 that TPM, total polar material, needs to be monitored at the restaurant. And once the TPM, total polar material, reaches 25%, we cannot use that oil for the further processing. So this is the sensor which will be useful for you to carry out that measurement. Now, as I told earlier, this multifunction handle is a Bluetooth-enabled device. So whatever the measuring values we are getting can be transferred to the tablet. So here we have our own software, Testo Savory's Restaurants. We will configure the customer's checklist as per their requirement, not necessarily only the quality food safety checklist, whatever the multiple checklist customer following, like daily hygiene checklist, cleaning sanitation checklist, or even the pest control checklist. We can accommodate this all kind of a checklist in a single app so that going forward, the restaurant will have a consolidated single checklist. So our restaurant team will perform all the check on the tablet instead of doing it on a paper. Now this control unit or the tablet is connected with the cloud account through Wi-Fi. So as soon as the restaurant team perform the check on the tablet, the data get uploaded on the cloud, and from there it will be available with the QA manager or the higher management for the further analysis. Apart from this software and the portable smart sensors, we have some stationary sensors also in the form of online data logger. So these are the data loggers, Wi-Fi-based data loggers, specifically designed for the chilling freezing equipments like walk-in chiller or walk-in freezer from the restaurant. So data will go directly to the cloud from Wi-Fi-based data logger, and it will be available with the management and even for the restaurant manager. Now, in case of any violation in the limit values for the certain period of time, this data logger will send the notification in the form of SMS or mail to the different stakeholders so that they will have an opportunity to act immediately and avoid the further temperature abuse to the product, avoid the further food losses. So this is in short the overview of Testo Savory's Restaurant. This is how the app look like, quite user-friendly app. And we can accommodate, we can configure the different checks, different type of specifications, limit values, or even the, there is a provision to take the photograph also. If for any check or any non-compliance, you want to have a photograph as a proof, so you can take the photographs also. That's also possible over here. This is how the multifunction handle can be used along with the penetration sensor to carry out the core temperature of the product. Same device, multifunction handle used along with the cooking oil sensor to check the TPM of the frying oil. So here the surface temperature sensor is used to check the surface temperature of the griller or the hot plate. This is how the data logger will be installed for the walk-in chiller, walk-in freezer. Logger will be installed outside the chiller freezer so that it will be continuously in connection with the Wi-Fi, and sensor part will go inside. This is how the dashboard will look like for the QA account or the restaurant manager's account. It is a very important tool, or I will say real-time data monitoring system for the QA to access the data from all the locations on the real-time basis. That dashboard can be customized as per the requirement of the customer by applying the different filters to the different areas or different restaurant or different timelines. We can even export the data in the PDF format as well. So with the help of such kind of solution, you will have a certainty that all the compliance requirements are met at all times. Such kind of cloud-based solutions are getting more popular in the recent time, as the industry has already witnessed the biggest advantage of being a real-time data monitoring system. In the pandemic situation, when there were a lot of restrictions for the movement of people, with the help of such kind of solutions, the QA was the management was able to access the data from all locations to ensure the compliances. So why Testo's digital food safety solution? Because we are providing the end-to-end solution. We are providing the hardware, we are providing the software, and even we are providing the services. So no need to tackle the multiple technologies or the multiple suppliers. This will be helpful for you to bridge up the gap between the strategies and execution. So any kind of changes you want to have in your checklist, you want to have changes in the specifications or the SOPs, so you can do it with just by clicking the button. So the changes will get rolled out at all the locations. You will get the full visibility till ground level, like who has done the check, at what time he has done the check, what was the result, what corrective action he has taken if there was a non-compliance reported. So that kind of complete visibility will be there in the checklist. Sorry, what's happening? Yeah. So such kind of solution will give a confident management on the food safety issues and holding the employees at as the checks designed in the digital checklists are the time-dependent checks, shift-dependent checks. So every time restaurant team will feel themselves accountable, responsible to do the checks within a timeline as per the SOPs. So at last, just want to give you the introduction regarding the Testo Group. Testo is a German company having head office in the Lenzkirch in the Black Forest. Testo having subsidiaries in more than 33 countries in the world. Since more than 60 years, Testo is in the business of measuring and testing instruments, providing the innovative solutions and instruments to the different segment of the industry, including food. Regarding Testo India, Testo is India established in 2006, having head office in the Pune. We are a 100% subsidiary of Testo Group, and we have our own NABL calibration and service lab. We have a direct presence in the 12 locations across the country and having an extensive channel partners network across the country. So that's all related to this presentation from my side. I hope you found it interesting. Those who are interested, please do visit our stall in the exhibition hall. Me and my team will be there to assist you further. Thank you very much.